is the Andu Kedei Show.
Welcome to another episode of the show on a Tuesday. A beautiful Tuesday, everyone. So, today I'm going to talk about basketball because some things happened. I watched some games and I really enjoyed, or have some disappointments. So, we'll talk about that. But first of all, I really want to talk just a little bit about tennis because the ATP season has started, WTA as well. Australian Open qualifications are undergoing in Doha and Dubai and Abu Dhabi and wherever, but not Australia, whatever. So, we have the semifinals in Antalya, a 250-point event. Deminaur and Goffin. I know it's not like a huge event where the brightest stars come, but David Goffin had a terrible last year. And now so far, so good. He's in the semifinals playing against Deminaur. We'll see how that goes, but congratulations on him because, as I said, his last year, 2020, was terrible for him. I mean, he started the year. Remember, he defeated Nadal at the ATP Cup and then he couldn't buy a match. It was awful. Then we have Bublik, who defeated another disappointment from last season, Berrettini. Italia's number one, but it's probably like that because of the protected rankings. I mean, Berrettini had a pretty rough last year too. I mean, he hit some. I mean, he was around the quarterfinals in some events, but in most of them, not really contending for the championship. Then at the Delray Beach, where the defending champion Riley Opelka did not play, we have a first-time semi-finalist in Sebastian Corda. One of the surprises from the Roland Garros. He got eliminated there in the third round by his idol, Rafael Nadal. No surprise there. He's still a young man. And it was a hell of a job for him to make the third round in the Grand Slam. He defeated John Isner now. So that's a thing. That's great for him, obviously. And yeah, he's now in the semifinals in his home soil in USA. In Abu Dhabi, man, Maria Sakkari so far, she's in the semifinals. She's having a terrific start of the year. She defeated Coco Gauff. She defeated Sofia Kenin, Gabriel Muguruza. It looks like all the good players are on her side. And right now, as we speak, as I record this, she is down 1-3 to Sabalenka, another player that had a great year last season and a great finish of the great end of the year. She won Ostrava, beating her compatriot Victoria Azarenka in the final. So this is a great matchup. And now let's move to the NBA thing, NBA stuff. So I think the last episode I did was 2 days ago or something like that. So we only had 2 nights of NBA basketball, but some things happened. So, first of all, let's eliminate the elephant of the room. 3 games, I think, has been postponed. Boston Celtics, it was supposed to be a back-to-back. Yeah, both games got postponed. Same for Mavericks New Orleans because of some Mavericks positive tests. And this is the danger. This was, from the start, the danger. If you're not having a bubble, yeah, you are restricting travel, you made some changes, shorten the season, but if you shorten the season only 10 games, and so far we have like 4 or 5, I think, in total games postponed, the season will enlarge. I mean, you can't postpone games and put them in the same night, and the team should have 2 games in one night to stick to the schedule. No. And back-to-back, it will be even harder for teams. We'll have players sitting down, load management, and stuff like that. So I think today or yesterday, the NBA already had a governors meeting, and they will probably have a lot more on this subject. I don't know if they want to loosen the health and safety protocols. Because so far, look, it was the Philadelphia example. They were stuck in Miami Heat after the Steph Curry positive test. And as far as I know, or as far as the news are leaked, I don't know if there has been any other positive test return from the 76ers players. So maybe they can, but it's tough, to loosen the rules. I mean, players need to quarantine. Like you had Jason Tatum, he needed to quarantine 10 to 14 days. And once one player gets in touch with other players, like the team needs to have 8 available players, and they don't have these teams that I'm talking about right now. They got games got suspended. So basically, what it means there is a 15 man on the roster. You need to have 50% plus one, so 8 people out of 15. Yeah, it's tough, and the problem is that it's only the beginning. It's only the third, fourth week. Things like this will continue to go on and will continue to happen. What are the plans? How can you stop that? Because it's going to be hard to stop that. Let's say, God forbid, for example, one team, so 8 players from a team get the virus. They will need to stay at least 14 days in quarantine, self-quarantine. Do you know how many games are in 2 weeks? 14 days? Around 6 or 7. How can you postpone then 6 or 7 games? Or let's take the Los Angeles Lakers, for example. Or whatever team that is contending. And 2 of their 2 best players get the virus. And they will need to quarantine for 14 days. If, as I said before, if God forbid they get a bad form of the virus, they will need to quarantine even more and spend more time recovering. And that will have a huge impact probably on their record, most likely, you know? Yeah, so the situation is tough, but the other way around, you can't have a bubble that lasts that long. Even if you get your families, I mean, and I want to talk about something about this with the Toronto Raptors. But before we do that, let's get into some games. So we have first game of the other night, I think it was, yeah, Dallas Orlando, and finally Porzingis, Doncic. I think I already talked about this game, right? Well, I don't know. So let's go last night. We have Hornets Knicks, and man, I did not expect this from the Hornets. And the Knicks that were 5-3, and the narrative a few days ago was, oh my god, are they the biggest surprise in the East? They are now on a 3-game losing streak. So that's not good news for the New York Knicks and for the people that hope that their trend could continue. But on the other hand, the Charlotte Hornets are another team that had, so in my opinion, they should have had 0 expectations. They're on the 6th seed, but they're now 6-5. It looks like most of the teams are 6-5, 6-5, 5-4, something like that. Especially on the West. So Gordon Hayward is now balling. Basically, he's averaging 22 points, and I don't know. I think I can search the numbers for this Charlotte team, but when they run that lineup, when they have Rozier, Ball, and Graham on the same time on the court, you would have expected their defense would be terrible. It's not really the case. They are like middle of the pack. They are the 14th team defensively. So it's not that bad. Plus, Gordon Hayward is not really a great defender either, especially after everything that happened in his career. So they are a fun team to watch. Graham, 19 points. I was critical of him before because he averaged only 10 and he averaged 21 last season. Bad game from LaMelo Ball shooting wise. I mean, he had 8, 14, and 7. Finally, he played more. As I said before, this is what he should do. He should play more, not 20 minutes. He played 29. He shot the ball roughly 3 from 13, but he's a rookie. Games like that will always happen. And the thing is, yeah, he shot the ball terribly, but 14 rebounds. He was the leading rebounder on each team last night. So great stat for him, 14 rebounds and 7 assists. So he's a little bit of everything else, and this is what you want to do. Every player, if you have a rough night shooting wise, if you just don't click, like the ball just simply doesn't come to the net, do focus on the other things. Don't get loose on the fact that, oh my god, my shot is not working. Bro, do other things because you can. You're not simply in the NBA because of shooting. Play hard, play better defense. Try to be a better playmaker. Rebound the ball, box out people. Do other things. Don't get lost in your bad shooting night. Because it happens to everyone. Hayward, 34 points. And for the Knicks, yeah, Kevin Knox, 19 points, which was a little bit surprising. But their two best players that I would say so far have proven to be Randall and Barrett, only 11 points each. So yeah, bad trend for New York, as I said, 3 losses in a row. Meanwhile, Hornets, they're on a 4-game winning streak. So that's interesting. So this is why I love the NBA, how the narrative can only change like between a 3 or 4 days. I'm not saying that the Charlotte will be the 6th seed at the end of the season. I'm not saying the New York Knicks will be the 9th seed. Who knows? Maybe the Knicks will be the 3rd seed or the 15th seed. Well, I don't know if 15 is possible. I mean, yeah, it's possible, but the way Detroit is playing. So, other game that got my attention last night. Washington Phoenix? And the Washington, they were really good? Like, what? So, Westbrook will be out for some time. I think a week at least. With some quad injury, left quad. I don't remember if it's the same quad for the bubble. But indeed, he looked like he was injured. Bradley Beal, another dominant game. 34 points, 8 rebounds, 9 assists. And they defeated a good team, the Wizards. They had a 21-point win against the number 3 seed of the Western Conference, the Phoenix Suns. And Booker played good, 33 points. Raul Neto from the Wizards replaces Westbrook and has 16 points. Chris Paul had a good game. Bridges, Saric, all solid games. You can say probably that Ayton had a bad game. But this win tells me that so they started the season really badly, right? So they are 3-8 right now, which is a very bad record, especially from this team with Bill and Westbrook. Westbrook goes down with this injury. Thomas Bryant tore his ACL, and as solid and it was Thomas Bryant offensive, he was kind of a liability on the defensive side. And Robin Lopez played more minutes this game, and he really played good defense, man, at that rim. He really kept DeAndre Ayton with just 6-8 points. So Robin Lopez was really like a good anchor down there in the 3-second space on the defensive side of the ball. Raul Neto overperformance, yeah, you won't see this every day from him. Davis Bertans had a good shooting game. Hachimura with 10 points, 9 rebounds. So yeah, it's interesting to see the Washington Wizards winning games like this very easily. I mean, they are having a terrible defensive season, like they had last season as well. But offensive wise, they're really good for some reason. I mean, points per game, they are the second team. And yeah, that has everything to do with Bradley Beal, that is now the leading scorer on the NBA, averaging 35 points, putting up James Harden stats. That's ridiculous from Beal, man. That's really ridiculous. The next game was Cleveland-Memphis, and yeah, I don't want to talk about this much because I don't think there is really something to talk about. Memphis won somehow, and I say somehow because their two best players are injured. But yeah, and Cleveland, Sexton didn't play, Garland didn't play, Love didn't play. I don't know what's happening. But what's interesting to me is if you search on the internet, on the NBA original sites, official sites, the best defensive team in the league, the first one is Cleveland. Which is kind of weird because they are the 10th seed in the East. They are 5 and 6 right now. They have Drummond, yeah, that's fair, a good defensive player, but Larry Nance, yeah, okay, good defensive player. Isaac Okoro, he's still a rookie though. So how? It's weird. This somehow tells me that stats are not always everything, and you should not rely on stats. I mean, probably they are one of the worst offensive teams because you can't be the best defensive team in the league and be the 10th seed, you know? So then we had Orlando, Milwaukee, yeah. Orlando, this is a team that I didn't expect to do much. I think they also started 4-0 or something like that, or 5-0. They're now 6 and 5. Markel went down, and this was horrible to see. Jonathan Isaac, who I really love, did not play in this game. I mean, he will miss, I don't know if the entire season, but most of it, at least. Vucevic is putting up great numbers. Aaron Gordon really dunked really hard on Giannis. And Cole Anthony. I think the really good thing for this team right now is Cole Anthony because he's been playing good. I mean, he's a rookie they drafted. I think he was a lottery pick. He's not necessarily shooting the ball in the most efficient way, especially from the 3. It's kind of struggling right there. Struggling as well from inside the arc, but he's alright. He's solid. He had... Did he? No, he had a 16-point game. I thought he had a 20-point game, but he's okay. I mean, his outside looks good. He's averaging like what? 10 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. That's not bad for a rookie. Especially for an undersized rookie. We had Atlanta and Philadelphia, and man, so look, the Sixers played. Atlanta on the other side, they were like Orlando. They started the season really good. Right now they're a 500 team, but they were on a 6 or 7 game losing streak. No, they were on a 4 game losing streak. Sorry. Trae Young finally a 20-something point game because if you look at his match history, I mean, his last 2 games, 15 points, 7 points. Yeah. And they beat Philadelphia, which was, until recently, the number 1 seed in the East. And deservedly so. Joel Embiid, he had a good game, but he only played 23 minutes. Trae Young also played only 26 minutes. Dakota Matias, this is the first time I'm hearing this name, has played 40 minutes for the Sixers. He had 14 points. So yeah, still no Ben Simmons, still no Seth Curry for the Philadelphia 76ers. Yeah, this is why they lost. On a nutshell, yeah, this is why they lost. So not much really to talk about in this game. A game that I really want to talk about and the team that I really want to talk about is not... Yeah, you can say, I can say, I want to talk about Toronto, Portland. But before that, let's not ignore the Kings and the Pacers, because the Kings played a good game against the Pacers. Barnes with a 30-piece, De'Aaron Fox 21, Buddy Hield 18. The rookie Tyrese, another good game for him. Bagley, another struggling game for him. And yeah, it looks like the situation with the Kings chemistry is not that good. And I don't mean the chemistry between players necessarily. I mean the chemistry between players and coaches, players and general managers. So you have Bagley's dad, first of all, demanding for his son to be traded. Then, if you remember, in the offseason, there were some rumors that Buddy Hield got into a fight or argument or whatever with the coach, with Luke Walton. They had Bogdanovich, they had Buddy Hield. It was probably about that. They first started Hield. Then started Bogdanovich. Yeah, probably Hield was not satisfied with it. They traded Bogdanovich. Not traded, they lost him for nothing. Oh my god. This was a bad move for the Kings. Then they drafted this rookie Halliburton, which is really, really good. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how the King. What is the next move? Change the GM, change the coach, trade some players. It's gonna be because I think they need some drastic moves to be done because they're not a playoff team. I think they have the potential to be, but they have the talent with Fox, Hield, even Barnes is an above average player. The rookie brought in Whiteside. He can play some defense. He can play some block some shots around the rim. He can play some rotational minutes. Rashawn Holmes is a young, good center. So I really believe in this team, in this collection of talent. So it's something it's just not clicking. But look, last night they played a good game and defeated Indiana, which is a really good team. And now the team that I don't want to say that are on fire, but man, the Toronto Raptors lost 2 games in a row by 1 point. I mean, how badly is that? But not only that, I mean, Siakam finally started to play some good minutes, some quality minutes. But it's still not enough. I mean, look, last night he had a triple-double, man. I mean, what more can you wish? But it was still not enough. They lost by 1 point. CJ McCollum, so smooth. I mean, so far he's better than Lillard this season. I always knew he's a good player, and I think he has 0 All-Star games and 0 All-NBA teams, which is kind of absurd if you really think about it and how consistent this guy was for the last 3 or 4 NBA seasons. I always thought that this is one of the top 2, top 3 backwards in the NBA. It was Steph and Clay for so long, but now Clay is injured. I thought Bill and Westbrook might have a chance to be one, or even Wall and Harden. D-Book and Chris Paul. But I think right now, CJ and Damian Lillard are the ones. The best guard combo in the league. McCollum is averaging 28 for the season. So he played another great game. He the game winner. Siakam played good. He is supposed to be like the carrier of the torch for the Raptors because Lowry is so old and OG is younger. I would say that he's still not at Siakam level. So Siakam has an All-Star and an All-NBA third team. Remember that. He's not playing at this level still. And I think that part of the reason the Raptors had a really slow and bad start of the season, they are 2-8. I think part of the season is still that so first of all, in my opinion, they overachieved last year in the bubble. Even in the bubble, they won 7 games with the Boston Celtics. And they played bad. Gasol played bad in the bubble. Siakam played bad in the bubble. They shouldn't have go 7 games with the Celtics. So part of the reason they are really bad right now, I say that because they overachieved, and the major reason is probably that, guys, remember, they are not allowed to play in their home country, in their home arena. They play in Tampa Bay. And this is a struggle not only for the players, but for their families. They needed to move, relocate their kids, search for houses, maybe transport also your family, move with your family. Probably some of them did. I don't know if everyone did, but even if you go alone, it sucks because you're alone in a new city. You are not used to everything. You don't belong there. They don't even have a basketball team. So, first of all, when I thought about it, I think, oh my god, it's fun. They should do like a Tampa Bay Raptors jersey and logo. And I don't know, I thought it would have been fun. But now that I got more time to think about it, it really sucks. I'm sure that it really sucks for them to be far from their families. And if, as I said, even if they move with their families, for their kids to start another school and stuff like that, probably sucks. And they look confused. I mean, Siakam looked confused in both games, at the end of the games where he shot the potential game winner. Against the Warriors, he was top of the key, do a spin move, a fake, or even two spin moves, I don't remember exactly. And he lost, and he missed. And same move this game against Portland. I mean, yeah, he was in the left block or right block, I don't remember. He was not top of the key anymore, but spin move, fade away, miss. And what's even more frustrating probably for him and for the team, that he was close both times. And last night, the ball literally, and half of the ball literally entered in the basket and then it rotated away and it was a miss. And last night either, I mean, last game against the Warriors. Were the Warriors? Yeah, because Damian Lee hit the game winner. Same move. I mean, it looked confusing and it didn't look as smooth as CJ bucket. Let's just say that. I think it's the perfect description. CJ looked so smooth when he hit that game winner. And Pascal looked a little bit confused. Like his body was not as present. Bro, watch that replay and you will see what I mean. Really, watch the replay and you will see what I mean. So yeah, hopefully these Toronto Raptors will do better because, yeah, I said that they overachieved last season without Kawhi. But they are not a bad team. They are definitely not a fourth team. A 14th seed team. They are at least a top 10 team. I would say that they are better than the Cleveland. Even better than the Knicks. Probably even better than Charlotte. What the heck am I thinking about? Then I want to talk a little bit about the Brooklyn Nets because I don't know what's happening there. I mean, KD missed 3 or 4 games. I don't remember exactly because of the health and safety protocols. And Kyrie is out for personal reasons. And Steve Nash was not able to provide an answer when he will came back. I don't know if he knows. I mean, I don't know nothing. I don't know what Steve Nash knows. I don't know the personal reasons of Kyrie. I pray and I hope that nothing bad happened with him or his family or his friends, his surroundings. But being out so long for personal reasons, undisclosed personal reasons, doesn't look necessarily good. And bro, the Nets were killing the league at the start of the season. They are now on a 2-game losing streak, losing 3 out of their last 5 games. They are now 5-6, another 500 record. I know KD didn't play, Kyrie didn't play, Dinwiddie went down. But hopefully they will pick it up because yikes. As I said, they started the season, they were like, wow. I watched the first 2 games of the Brooklyn Nets. I was right. I was like, okay, so they are the biggest threats to the Lakers. 100%. Right now, I would take that back in a heartbeat. Then another team I wanted to talk about, and I wanted to talk about only because I really watched with a lot of attention their game from not last night, 2 nights ago. The Chicago Bulls against the Los Angeles Clippers. Another close game that they lost. Do you want to know why they lost this game? Because that dude, monster, Zach LaVine, had 45.7 rebounds, 7 assists, 10 of 16 from the 3-point line. So he balled out. Garrett Temple with also a good game. He had 18 points. The rookie Patrick Williams. I had no idea who this guy was, and I don't know why. I mean, everyone projected, and the experts, because I read the draft projections, they had Danny Avdija, number 4, or Tyrese Halliburton, the guy Obi Toppin, Precious. I heard of kids like this. Patrick Williams? Nothing. No news, no headlines, no nothing. And he's balling out. I gotta say that his shot release looks weird. Weird. Really weird. But if it works, and it works, I mean, he's shooting the ball really efficiently for a rookie. So I want to congratulate the Chicago Bulls on this draft move because this guy looks like a keeper. And as I said in an episode before, he guards LeBron James. He moves in front of Kawhi. Yeah, okay, of course, he's not going to put the lock on Kawhi or LeBron James, but he's trying. He's strong, he's muscular, he can stay in front of them and maybe cause them some problems. So it was a point in this game in the third quarter, I think, where Levine hit the three, then Leonard hit the three, then Levine hit another three, then Leonard hit another three. It was like a 3-point showdown in the third quarter between Levine and Kawhi. And the only reason the Bulls lost this game was because of their inexperience, or because of their youthness. There were a lot of possessions where Kobe White and Wendell Carter and even I think Thaddeus Young had a silly turnover. So I remember I have this image clear in my mind. It was the fourth quarter. I think the Clippers were up 2. I don't remember exactly the scoreboard, but it was close, obviously. And Wendell got the ball in the post near the free throw line, and he wanted to pass behind to Kobe White. Where's Zach LaVine? Doesn't matter. And he literally passed the ball in the hands of Kawhi. Kawhi didn't have to reach to the ball and to do an athletic move to get to the ball. He simply woke up with the ball in his hand. He was like, "Oh, okay, thank you. Let's run the fast break." So, Bulls is not my favorite team, but it hurts me to see that. And I know these are plays that are due to the inexperience, to the youthness of the kids. And congratulations, Kobe White. He's having an amazing second year, if you ask me. An under the radar, solid second year, averaging 17 points. And Thad Young is also playing really good quality. I mean, it's Garrett Temple as well. I didn't expect that from Garrett Temple. And not to mention Zach LaVine, who is such an offensive threat right now. He's averaging 28 points, guys. That's a lot. And I was so frustrated and so... I really wanted the Bulls to win this game, man. So look at their last game. So they lost by 3, then they lost by 2, then they lost by 4, then they won by 3. So they play a lot of close games, but they just can't figure out how to win in crunch time. And this is, as I said, because of their youth. Some silly turnovers. Wendell Carter had 4 turnovers. Kobe White 5. Zach LaVine also had 5, but let's give him a pass because he carried the team. And another thing that finally happened, as almost as usual that it happened last season, Lou Williams, 21 points. Look at the box score. His last matches, 6 points, 3 points, 15, 4, 7. So he finally played his best game of the season with 21 points. He's still not at his form that he was last year. I don't know if he will be. But you just know every time he runs, he enters the paint, not the paint, the arc, and he falls away with that mid-range shot. You already know it's nothing but net. And it's so frustrating to see if you are a fan of the opposing team. So yeah, this is the episode. I think I will wrap things up here. I really wanted to address this Chicago Bulls Toronto Raptors ideas that I had inside my mind. Thank you guys if you have been listening through this. Drop down below in the comment section if you're listening to this on YouTube your thoughts about those two teams especially. Thank you so much for listening. Stay healthy and peace.